Hey, I'm back again with another video, and in this one, well, been troubled by situation trying to figure something out, and had to do with the battery and the lighting and everything, and it was, how to handle the battery compartment and passenger door, since it's one and the same thing on this airplane anyway. So, cutting it out, no big deal. We had the plan sheet, so we know where the door is and how big it had to be and all that stuff. It's very faint on this drawing, but it's pictured right here, just with this side of it, the aft side of the door, just aft of the, I don't know what bulkhead that is, the fourth from the end, and then it looks like it was supposed to cut into where I put the floor. So my floor is essentially on this stringer. So I had to make this cut, the bottom cut, I had to make that just above the floor. And then we had to give it a proper height. A 132 scale, that means that 1 inch on your model is equal to 32 inches on the actual aircraft or in the real world. So 32 inches, just shy of 3 feet, I guess. So, 2.25 inches would be the height of your average 6-foot person. So you need a door that's about 2.5 inches high, just slightly less than that. Most people getting onto the DC-3 back in the day had to duck their head. But if we look at the height of our door, it's just about 2.25 inches. Anyway, that's the dimension I went with. And so at that point, I knew that I was going to put the aft side of the door just ahead of this fourth bulkhead, 1, 2, 3, 4, not just aft of it. And I knew that I was going to be just above my floor. Couldn't really cut through the floor and have that hanging off of my door, so we cut it just above. And then, so I guess what I'm saying is, to draw a good shape for this thing, I needed to make 2 parallel lines onto the wood, which I did with this sort of a template. It's a circle template. Doesn't matter what kind of template, as long as it's flexible, right? You can draw a straight line on a curved surface, right? So we draw 2 straight lines, and then we come back with our circle guide to draw the top of the door, and there it is. So you just line up the top of each of your parallel lines and then connect them using the top half of the proper circle from your circle template, and you get a nice rounded door at the top. So hinging this thing, how was I going to hinge it in such a way that what I wanted to ultimately do was to have it drop down like a passenger door and have steps on it. Well, ultimately, making a bifolding or a double acting hinge like that, so it would have to pop out at the bottom, let the door drop enough to let the top catch out of the hatch, and then rotate down. Well, that's a pretty complicated thing, and I might yet still be able to come up with one or figure one out, but in the meantime, a simple friction fit is your friend. So now we can access the battery. Now, I made this sponge just to keep it from rattling around in there. So once we get the sponge out, if we can get this, once we get the sponge out, there we go. Said, like I was saying, once we get the sponge out, come on, sponge. And the sponge, it's just bubble wrap, right? Wrapped in a proper circle. So there's the battery up inside of there. So I just made a little kind of a ramp thing for it to sit on longwise and widthwise here. So now we can just drop it out. Now like I said, we can just drop it. Like I was saying, we can just drop it out of there. Here it comes. There he is. Here he comes. It's not coming. All right. Well, it worked good in rehearsal. I don't know what to tell you. I think I got to hook the front end of that. Well, you know what? Please hold due to technical difficulties. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Da 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 ba 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 da ba da da da. There's got to be a way to get this thing out of here. Oh, there, I got it, and now it's out. I think I got a little bit of glue on the battery is what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. All right, so anyway, now the battery's free. The airplane's broken, but no, the airplane's not broken. It's just a little bit of glue got onto the gosh darn battery. Let me see if I can clean that off of there, because I don't want future issues thanks to some ridiculous little situation that could have been prevented. Anyway, the battery will come out to about this position here, and I should be able to pop that off, probably using a screwdriver and damaging the airplane even further. But at least we can access the battery now, right? So at some point when it dies, and it will at some point, you know, they always do. I might be able to, I might be able. I have a better chance than I did before today of being able to get in there and swap out the battery. Should it die on me like a lousy, stinking, cheating. Anyway, I'm about to put the battery back in. The battery is now back in its little chamber, and I'm going to shove the sponge back in there. Come on, sponge. Bob, whatever your name is. All right, and that keeps it from rattling around. We don't get the battery ruckus. Anyway, that was my answer to a vexing problem that was bothering me for a couple of weeks. I'm going to have to eventually cut open this fuselage and figure out this door thing, and it was weighing on me, but there it is. That'll work. So a little bit of light sanding will bring these edges back to flush, right? Doesn't matter what the thickness of the door is. All that matters is that it's flush. And I've got plenty of room to work with. It's 3/32 continuous thickness, so I can take off whatever that is, 1 or 2 millimeters of the door surface, bring it down flush with the fuselage again, and there you go. This will blend with the paint when we get the silver paint onto the airplane. That's below the window line, I think. Pretty sure it is, and should be down into the silver paint line below the silver paint, the aluminum finish, if you will. I haven't covered the windows. I had to. I constantly replace that tape just to keep it clean, keep the other surfacing materials from getting under it and onto the glass, or in this case, how we're getting around, a little buildup around the window frame. I'll have to lightly sand that with some ultrafine sandpaper, try and get that off of there. But these are the risks that you run when you have to install the windows before you're done with the finishing work. And there was no way to install those windows from the inside other than to do it before assembly and prior to finishing. So the windows are in, as I've been saying. So I'm going to tape those up again. We're going to continue doing the finish work on the fuselage. The next step, now that I have the door figured out, and after I get this sanded down flush again, I'm going to start building up the tail, and we'll be figuring out those tail fairings and seeing whether I like them or hate them, or whether I can use them or not. And if everything's good with that, we'll proceed apace. We'll get the tail completed, and then we'll move on to attaching the wing to this airplane, and see how that goes. So lots of fun stuff coming up. Things are moving a little faster now that some of the bigger parts of the assembly are being assembled. The assembly is being assembled. So that's your update for today. I don't know how many more videos you know, how fast I'll be putting these up. I got other stuff to work on now and this week and in the coming days. So I don't know how much I'll be able to do on the DC-3. I was able to put up a number of videos here just in the last 2 days, which was good. I got quite a bit done on the project since Thursday, and managed to figure out a few things on the fly. This door being one of those. The nacelles and getting this thing ready for landing gear, and making sure everything fits, and you know, preparing to install it and everything else. Now things are falling down, so I'm gonna go. Let me just say this. Thank you for viewing the channel, and for those of you who have subscribed, or liked some of the videos, I appreciate that. Anybody who comments, welcome to comment. Thank you. I very much appreciate, you know, all the encouragement. You know, the appreciation, you know, that some of you have for the work. It just means a lot to me that you know, that whether it's inspiration or motivation on your own projects, or you know, just something to watch for entertainment's sake, it's all good. And you know, the work is the work. I have other projects after this one, and hope to continue you know, bringing this stuff to YouTube for anyone who's interested in it. Right? So I'm going to go back to work on, you know, getting this door smooth and get everything cleaned up so that it looks, you know, proper. Get rid of these little dings and nicks and stuff, and bring it down flush to the fuselage, and then we'll go from there. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great day. Appreciate you.